like, follow me on Twitter, and turn on your notifications. Welcome back to the NXT Universe mode, you guys. We are here in full sail, the new and improved NXT arena for the NXT Universe mode, here brought to you by yours truly, the Wrestle Dude. And coming off a successful NXT TakeOver the End, we open up tonight with a tag team matchup, and we will have 3 matches here tonight on the show. A new look to NXT, futuristic kind of look. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoy it too, as we have a tag team matchup here that has major indications heading forward for the tag team champions, American Alpha. It will be Team DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, against UK wrestler Danny Burch and Apollo Crews, a member of what they like to call Titus Worldwide. So they're going to go 2-on-2 here tonight in our opening matchup here on NXT. And in our main event tonight, it will be Bobby Roode taking on a special guest here on NXT. But I will get into that once we get to our main event, although there will be timestamps in the video description here that will take you to matches that you would like to watch. So if there's a specific match that you want to watch, hit the video description links. But here we go, open us up. DIY versus Danny Burch and Apollo Crews. And this will be Apollo Crews' last appearance here on the Universe mode. Oh, as Danny Burch. Apollo Crews will be moving up to the Monday Night Raw roster. He will not be appearing on NXT, trying to make room for some of the more recent NXT stars. And I want to address the elephant in the room concerning what happened at NXT TakeOver the End. Seeing Drew McIntyre in the crowd there before our main event. Apparently there has been no word from General Manager William Regal on whether or not that has anything to do with further goings here in NXT. Still an interesting concept, considering the cameras were right on him for quite a bit of time, and I was just shocked. I was not told to mention it. For some reason we still showed it on camera, but for all I know, Drew McIntyre is not signed to WWE. He was just in town to watch his good friend Hideo Itami go against Braun Strowman. And now Tommaso Ciampa in the ring with Apollo Crews, a very underrated superstar many people said should have been in NXT and been an NXT champion. Oh, and Apollo Crews has had some very rough goings here at NXT, and he looks to go out of NXT with a victory. Oh, alongside Danny Burch, who is really a newcomer here to the Universe mode and NXT itself. And he looks to get his NXT career off to a huge start. Apollo Crews, a part of Titus Worldwide, not really been doing that much wrestling, but perhaps can get back into those ways here on NXT with a victory over DIY, fan favorite tag team. And a big chop to Apollo. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano having an incredible Cruiserweight Classic matchup. It did somewhere on the WWE Network. Tommaso Ciampa, as the Psycho Killer. He has that vicious knee strike, and he was looking for it. Oh, whoa! Oh, and Tommaso Ciampa reversing. And Ciampa is rolling now. And look at this. Oh, wait. Ciampa saw Apollo Crews coming right at him. And Apollo Crews was looking to send Ciampa over his head. And Crews off the second rope, crossbody. And Johnny Wrestling staring at his partner from the apron. And Johnny Gargano willing his partner on. But can Ciampa get back into this thing? And can Ciampa perhaps make the tag Johnny Wrestling? Oh, and Apollo Crews lifting him up. What are we going to see here? Lifts him up into a German suplex. The core strength of Apollo, a German suplex right from the ground. Oh, look at that! And Johnny Gargano willing his partner around as he hits a nice Hurricane Rana. And now here comes Johnny Wrestling. Oh, and Johnny Wrestling going right at him. And Gargano trying to... I think he might have accidentally hit his partner a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, man. And Gargano tripped him up. Or Ciampa tripped him up. And now Gargano with an armbar. Trying to wrench that arm. Oh, and a big boot. Oh, no. And Gargano. Oh, look at this. Tommaso Ciampa going right after Apollo Crews, trying to get him back into the corner. Running knee strike, but Apollo able to counter. And Apollo has him up. Angle slam, shades of the Hall of Famer. Oh, and a Northern Lights suplex out of nowhere. And Apollo now has created some separation and tags in Danny Burch. And now look at this. Gargano. Oh, man, and again, Gargano inadvertently hits his tag team partner. And Gargano trying to get his tag team partner back up to his feet. But in the meantime, Danny Burch is completely focused on the task at hand. Oh, and an enziguri. And DIY are now rolling again, but Gargano has to keep an eye on where his partner is. I mean, I know Danny Burch and Gargano's tag team partner Ciampa can sometimes look a little bit similar, but I mean, you can't really call them that similar. Oh, wait a minute. Now look at this. Gargano and Ciampa again. Oh, drop kick. Delayed missile drop kick after a knee in the corner. Tag team work there, but Danny Burch kicked out. And this is just our opening matchup here on NXT. Ooh, Gargano trying to keep Danny Burch isolated away from his partner Apollo Crews, but Danny Burch, look at our vertical suplex. And Gargano countered out. Oh, look at this. Gargano drop kicking Apollo Crews off the apron. Oh, and I think I know what's coming here. Lawn dart into the corner. That has got to be all. DIY looking to put away Danny Burch right here. Danny Burch in a huge, bad way. And look at this. DIY. Danny Burch up high. Ooh, seated senton out of a powerbomb. And will this be all? Is that all for DIY? And indeed it is. DIY pick up the win here tonight. Incredible way to pick up a win here. What a move. Very innovative. We've seen him with a move that they call, I don't know what they call it. It's a knee strike and a super kick combination. But they used that knee strike and a drop kick combination on Danny Burch. Still not able to put him away. Danny Burch losing his debut here on NXT. But the lawn dart to Danny Burch and then the powerbomb senton combination. Apollo Crews knocked off the apron. Tommaso Ciampa right there for the cover. And that took some impact. That probably took a lot of it out of his windpipe. I mean, the senton right onto the throat. I mean, we've seen the stories of The Undertaker's nose being broken by a senton by Rey Mysterio. But Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, and the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa, DIY, pick up a win to kick us off here on NXT. Congrats to those two. And coming up next here on NXT, we are going to hear from Eric Young, who was outraged at what happened at NXT TakeOver the End. His partner, Oney Lorcan, being assaulted very viciously by Jack Doe. And apparently it didn't stop when they were in the arena. It was outside the arena. Oney Lorcan was on his way out from the trainer's room, and Jack Doe would attack him yet again. And now Oney Lorcan has sustained an injury. And Eric Young is out here to, once and for all, he says, call out Jack Doe and beat the living crap out of him, he said. Or at least in PG terms, that's what he said. So what is going through the mind of Eric Young? And Eric Young definitely irate here tonight. Oh. New pieces of the story coming to light. It wasn't just Jack Doe. Apparently 2 other men were with him. And he's calling those 2 men out here. Oh, a handicap match. Are we going to see it? Very interesting. Eric Young calling out the two assailants that helped Jack Doe and Jack Doe himself. What the hell? What's going on? Apparently something's happening in the ring. And Eric Young, what is he staring? Oh God. What the hell is that? What in the Sam hell is that? And Eric Young facing off again. What the hell is that? Eric Young staring face to face with Killer Clowns. Oh, come on. I thought we left those in 2016. Oh, man. And apparently there's some kind of like convention for Stephen King's It remake in town somewhere. Because Eric Young is now fighting against two clown-masked men. Apparently these are the thugs that beat up Oni Lorcan after TakeOver. And Eric Young is now having it here. Hurricane Rana. I mean, I don't know who the heck these guys are. They don't look like they're the build of anybody here on the roster. Jack Doe apparently sending two of his assailants out against Eric Young here, who has demanded a handicap match, and he's getting it. Oh, man. And I don't think those uppercuts are really going to do any damage here against these guys who are in masks. Oh! And Eric Young trying to keep the two of them at bay. And Eric Young trying to keep that one in the ring at bay. There's one on the outside. Oh, a super kick. Super kick. And Eric Young. Oh! Eric Young trying to keep him at bay, like I said. And Eric Young now with a baseball bat at hand. And Eric Young, oh, using a baseball bat to his advantage. Beating the living hell out of him. Oh, and now attacking the referee. What the hell is getting into Eric Young? Well, as I was speaking, a special guest was coming here to NXT to face off against Bobby Roode, and that is being the returning man with a plan. The Brian Kendrick goes one-on-one with the glorious Bobby Roode here in our main event of NXT. And you guys, if you think this is going to be a good match, hit the thumbs up button. And as we just witnessed, Eric Young basically snapping against not only those two clowns that he was facing in the ring in a handicap match, he snapped on the referee. And apparently there is some backstage rumbling, and William Regal is furious. And we will have further news next week about what is going to happen between Eric Young and Jack Doe, and really a medical update on Oni Lorcan to see when he'll be back to full strength and in action. But speaking of action, here tonight, Bobby Roode goes one-on-one with a former Cruiserweight champion and an incredible athlete looking to try and make his return here, not just to NXT, but to the WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brian Kendrick is back. And the Brian Kendrick said that he's the man with a plan, and here tonight he looks to prove it. Brian Kendrick, we've seen him in the Cruiserweight Classic, and now here tonight, William Regal has granted him the opportunity to fight to get a contract here to appear on NXT, and if he can impress the NXT universe, and if he can impress William Regal, he will be signed here on NXT. And if you guys want to see the Brian Kendrick here on NXT, let me know in the comment section below, and I will definitely let Mr. Regal know if I think it's a good idea to sign Brian Kendrick here to NXT. But for here right now, the former NXT WWE Cruiserweight champion, the Brian Kendrick, will just have to put his money where his mouth is, step up and show that he has what it takes to stay here in NXT and come back home to the WWE, where he made a name for himself and where he basically got the in the Brian Kendrick. And speaking of the, we are looking at the it factor of professional wrestling, as he calls himself, Bobby Roode, making his entrance to the ring, his glorious entrance to the arena. And Bobby Roode, looking glorious as always, the glorious one, says that he will defend. Yes, he will defend, and he'll do all of us. And now here tonight, Bobby Roode, who has been gaining victories back and forth here over the likes of Rhino and Oni Lorcan and No Way Jose, and he's been making his way steadily back up to the NXT Championship title picture, and perhaps a victory over the veteran, the Brian Kendrick, can finally cement himself as a #1 contender for the new NXT champion, Hideo Itami. And that is going to be the main focal point of next week's NXT episode, the return of the newly crowned NXT champion, Hideo Itami. He's been recuperating this past week for his injuries that he sustained against Braun Strowman, a minor back injury, we can say that. But here tonight, we are focusing on what could be the future for Hideo Itami. Bobby Roode goes one-on-one with the Brian Kendrick, looking glorious as always. But the question lies, what's going to come out ahead? The glorious one, or the man with a plan? Let's find out. The Brian Kendrick fighting for an NXT title, or an NXT contract. Bobby Roode looking to cement himself in the mainstay of the NXT Championship picture. Ooh, man. Braun Strowman and Hideo Itami went through a war. Brian Kendrick's about to go through a war of his own here tonight. Oh, look at this, looking for a vertical suplex on Bobby Roode, who counters, and now rolling up Brian Kendrick. Could this be over right here? Oh, Brian Kendrick able to kick out. And Brian Kendrick not able to put away Bobby Roode, just a 1 count. And once again, Bobby Roode looking for the cheap win, but a rope break. And a glorious chant. Oh, and Brian Kendrick makes him pay. Neck breaker from behind. And Brian Kendrick has worked too hard, he said, to get back to WWE, just for it to fall short. Oh, and a hip toss into a rolling neck breaker. Bobby Roode really playing the part of the heel here. Normally he's been working as a babyface. But Brian Kendrick really is the babyface here. It's babyface versus babyface here. Brian Kendrick trying to fight for his job here, a way to get back to NXT, back to the WWE. And if you guys want to see Brian Kendrick in NXT, if he was to win this matchup, what would you guys want him to do? Oh, man! And if I'm in your guys' position, I'd want to see him deliver more moves like that to other members of the NXT roster. Imagine matches that we could see Brian Kendrick in here against. We could see him as a tag team wrestler with the likes of Eric Young and DIY. We could see him as a single star. Imagine Brian Kendrick getting back to NXT and to WWE and right into the title picture. Look at that. Reversing a backbreaker and delivering a drop kick. Imagine that. 2 comeback stories in Brian Kendrick and Hideo Itami, both going at it to become NXT champion. And look at this. Bobby Roode, vertical suplex. Very nice. Spins him inside out. And now into a quick cover on Brian Kendrick, who just kicks out. And Bobby Roode, now with the jaw of Brian Kendrick, looking to work him and hold him down. Bobby Roode cannot allow Brian Kendrick to create any separations here. Brian Kendrick has become smart. He's not just a high flyer anymore, he's ring smart. And look at that, nice snap suplex. He's ring smart. We've seen him deliver a neck breaker to Kota Ibushi using the corner turnbuckle as a neck breaker pad. Oh, and speaking of which, there it is. Oh, and look at that. Looking for sliced bread number 2, and Bobby Roode suckered him in with a vicious spear. And Bobby Roode not able to put Brian Kendrick away. Oh, and a clothesline. And Bobby Roode looking to put away Brian Kendrick. Oh, no, wait, sends him off the ropes. Oh, and knocks him down to the ground. And Bobby Roode's got to get him back inside the ring. I mean, he could win this VIA countout, but I don't think Bobby Roode would want it to be that way. Oh, no, wait, Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick, though. Great counter. And Bobby Roode sends him off the ropes and a clothesline, bringing him right back to the center of the ring. And Roode may be setting himself up here for something bad. Because you know when Brian Kendrick's in the corner, you know what he's looking for. He's looking for sliced bread. Sliced bread number 2. And a kick out from Bobby Roode at 1. Are you kidding? Oh, and there's the cruiserweight style. And the Brian Kendrick trying to put away Bobby Roode, and Roode rolls out after being hit with sliced bread number 2. But Bobby Roode apparently grabbed the bottom rope, so Brian Kendrick has a little bit of a way. He could have put him away. He just had him too close to the ropes. Ooh, and Bobby Roode into the cover on Brian Kendrick. Oh, weird cover there. Bobby Roode. Oh, man. And Roode. And like I said, creating separation. Brain Buster. Putting down the Glorious One. Could this be it? Brian Kendrick coming back to work. And no, he's not. Or at least not yet. And Brian Kendrick. Ooh, dropping an elbow right onto Roode's neck. And right onto his back. Oh, wait a minute. Brian Kendrick power slam. No, Bobby Roode counters with a nice back suplex. And Roode up to the second rope. And look at that, taunting the crowd. And then, oh no! Dropping him with a knee right to the back. And Brian Kendrick scraping the mud off of his boot. And Roode able to roll out. What is Brian Kendrick looking for? Here, a nice Russian leg sweep. Very nice. What's this? Brian Kendrick. Ooh, grabs the knee of Roode. And Bobby Roode shoves off Brian Kendrick. And could this be it? Could we be looking at Bobby Roode looking to put him away? Spine buster! Spine on the pine. Good night, Brian Kendrick. Is that all? No, wait. Oh, apparently it was just 2. Bobby Roode. A little bit of mouthing off. Oh, and it may cost him there. Brian Kendrick moved out of the way and suckered him in. Russian leg sweep, and Brian Kendrick, smart ring awareness. Very smart ring awareness. And look at this. We see him use this against Kota Ibushi. Oh, burning hammer. But he didn't get all of it. He did not get all of it. And Brian Kendrick may be coming back to work here in WWE. He's eyeing for it. Sliced bread, center of the ring. Here we go. Oh, no, wait. Bobby Roode countered sliced bread number 2. And you know what Roode's looking for here. He's looking to put him away with the glorious DDT. Glorious DDT, center of the ring. Nowhere to go. Brian Kendrick has been defeated by Bobby Roode. Despite his best efforts, Roode has won this match with a glorious DDT after countering sliced bread into a power slam. My God, Brian Kendrick tried everything. And in my opinion, he definitely has impressed enough to be on the NXT roster. But it's all up to you guys. Does Brian Kendrick deserve to be here on NXT? Leave your thoughts in the comments. But once again, Bobby Roode proves here tonight why he is exactly that. Glorious. Brian Kendrick tried everything. That brainbuster I thought was the closest thing. Countering sliced bread number 2. Hitting the glorious DDT. And that was it for Brian Kendrick. And Bobby Roode picks up another win here tonight on NXT. Folks, thank you for joining us here tonight for NXT. I will see you guys on the next episode as Bobby Roode continues his dominance here on NXT, looking absolutely glorious over the competition. And here tonight, it just wasn't Brian Kendrick's night. Thank you guys, and good night.